police officer is probably I can't think of a harder job than police officer.
Try being a critical care nurse.
Well,
there's two different things.
I don't know.
It's stressful, but
I'm not saying critical care nurse is not stressful. I'm
you're
saying
not putting
police
yourself
officers.
Yeah,
police
you
officers.
You have psych patients that are like.
I mean,
So
yeah,
okay, but
It depends on how much you want to shoot people and you want to sedate
police
people.
officers literally deal with the bottom of society every single day. They are in their car sitting there. Every interaction they have was probably with somebody that's like
could have weapons on them, whatever. And
like
I know
bottom of society.
Psych patients are dangerous,
like
but they're
the most stressful job in the world.
Psych patients are very easily sedated. You give them a shot
like,
in
it's
their
usually
butt.
in the context of being in a
Haldol.
Okay. Who else is a nurse here?
It's it's a little bit of Haldol, a little bit of Benadryl, a little bit of Ativan.
Stop.
Yeah.
All right, so just to be clear, are you saying that your job is like as stressful as a police officer?
It's comparable.
Comparable.
Yeah.
Well, so you're saying that in the psych, what was it? The psych unit?
No, in the ER or in the critical care unit, you're dealing with lower level society, homeless people, drug addicts. They have shanks, they have needles, dirty needles.
Perhaps they made contact with police officers first.
Yeah.
Maybe, or they walked in.
And the police officer is like, in their eyes, the enemy. They're the ones who have to grab them, be like, hey, we are taking you. You guys, like, okay, they're going to be there, but hey, we're going to help you.
No, that's not how it goes down.
Your job is
people are hallucinating. People are violent.
I know. I understand.
I've had police officers that sit outside of the room while they let us handle the patient.
But the thing is, that's not the only type of patient you deal with as a critical care nurse. So you're talking about like
the vast majority.
Have you ever? I'm sure it happens, but it's probably far more rare. In the critical care unit, how frequently are you having to like dispatch the people that are freaking out? Like, has anyone ever have to like shoot and kill a patient?
Shoot and kill a patient?
Grab them by their arms.
Hospital
and,
is.
They
have chemical restraints.
I'm making an argument here to point out that as a nurse,
we don't have to shoot. We do have to restrain people with leather restraints.
But it's usually with a group of other nurses.
Have you ever had to shoot a patient?
Police officers have to encounter people who are armed and have intention to kill them.
Yeah, and it's usually when they're one-on-one or like two, maybe
nurses don't have weapons. And the majority of nurses are female. So for us to have men in the industry is really huge.
Who's more likely to encounter like some lethal force scenario, a nurse or a police officer?
A police officer, obviously, because they're out in the streets. I'm saying it's comparable. You guys are turning it into like this, yours
is dangerous. It is dangerous.
It's still dangerous. Let's not minimize.
No. Let's not minimize the risks that police officers take.
Absolutely, and I wasn't minimizing.
The way this conversation went down
it's not comparable.
We were talking about police officers right here.
How dangerous it is.
I said, yeah, that police officer, I can't think of a harder, more stressful job. And then a comment was made by you, try being a critical care nurse.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm not saying it's not a stressful job.
Dangerous, not just stressful.
But you said try being a critical care nurse.
It's like, why are we having this argument though? That's the thing.
More dangerous
like,
I made a comment.
I know.
You guys went ham on it, but that's fine.
Listen, I respect your job.
Nobody's been in my shoes and had to deal with like people in Portland where illicit drugs are literally illegal.
I can look at statistics for police officers. Self-deletion. Police officers have the highest rate. There are all of the negative side effects of having a job. Police officers will tend to have the most negative effects. So I can look at statistics, not anecdotal evidence. In my experience as a critical care nurse, it's really difficult. And I'm not saying it's not.
Have you ever looked at statistics for critical care nurses?
Oh my gosh! I'm just saying police officers lead it.
Don't call it anecdotal when there's actually
anecdotal.
It's research.
We are not.
We're not saying that it's not hard. It's not I'm not saying it's oh, it's an easy job.
It's just not the
I'm
same
just
as
saying,
being a police
officer is harder.
I
It
didn't
is
claim
more stressful. It
I,
is more
I did
dangerous.
not claim that it's the same. I said it was
But it's the way that
comparable.
you
It is
said it.
comparable because it is. Unless you've been a nurse and you've worked in the
No, but
ER or in the
Why-
critical
can
care
I say
unit.
something to that? I have been in a
Because you're trying to shut me down, so we're having a disagreement and a
Listen,
dialogue. That's what
I-
happens in a disagreement.
I can
Two
say
people have
something
different
What are you
as someone who's
disagreeing
been
on?
there.
I'm disagreeing on the fact that you're minimizing and saying it's a stressful job. Yeah, sure, but it's not necessarily dangerous.
It is dangerous.
I
We're
didn't
saying
say
that,
it's
but
not
it's just not as
dangerous.
dangerous being a police
Okay.
officer. I've been in a psych ward. I've been an alcoholic. I've been in homeless shelters. I've been in recovery. I've seen the mental crises, and I'm telling
Hold
you
on.
right now, it is
Let me
not
just-
the same.
Let me define comparable or comparable of equivalent quality, worthy of comparison. So it's not clear to me that being a critical care nurse is of equivalent risk or danger as being a police officer.
And that
I didn't
doesn't
say
mean it's
equivalent.
not
I used the word
dangerous.
comparable.
Comparable, yes, but I
that's-
just
Yeah.
gave you the
That's
definition.
the same. You're saying it's like essentially an equivalent, and
It's absolutely not.
and it's not, and it's not, and it's not saying that your job isn't dangerous.
Right.
It's not saying that you don't take risks in your job, but you are at less risk than a police officer who usually you are in a hospital setting most of the time, or in a clinical setting with many nurses, many doctors around, people who can help you and come to your aid and your rescue. I know I work in a healthcare situation. I totally understand that, but I'm saying that I've seen the violent patients. I've heard the codes called, but I'm telling you, it happens less frequently, and also not to the degree that police officers get. And I'll tell you, I used to hate police officers when I was a far left person, but I'm telling you, their job is one of the most dangerous jobs, and it's not to minimize you, but it's not
I
the
didn't
same.
even. It's not even about me. It's about in general.
But you
So
said the
an
clinical
ER nurse
care
or a
nurse.
critical care nurse that works in the South Side of Chicago, for example, versus a
Not
police
as-
officer that works in Beverly Hills
Well,
or somewhere.
that's not a
else.
fair comparison.
Like, do you
Yeah.
get what I'm
What about
saying? There's like
now-
different
hold on.
statistics. Like we're talking about
Okay.
different variables, right?
How about we
like,
compare?
It can be comparable.
Let's compare a critical care nurse in the South Side of Chicago to a police officer in the South
Yeah,
Side of
that's-
Chicago.
Right.
Well, I've
and
seen
I'm
them,
not
they don't do
negating
much.
that. I made a simple comment that it's comparable.
Yes, we realize
So.
nursing, it's stressful, it's difficult. You're dealing with, like, you can be dealing with violent patients. We totally get it. It's not comparable
It's not.
to a police officer. It's just
I filed a couple police reports in the South Side of Chicago.
Oh my
I'll
God,
tell you
that's-
one
We believe
thing.
that.
Nothing was done. I'm telling you, they're not doing
That's-
too much
thank you
down
for
Well, I'd
there.
love to read those
I am just
reports.
saying, as somebody who's filed at least 3 of them.
nobody cares.
And this
No,
has
no,
nothing
no,
to do
nobody-
with what
nobody
we're
cares,
talking
so then-
about.
Nobody
So then
cares.
how
my
do you
God,
how are you going to
who
say that
the
you know
hell
what a police officer in the South Side of Chicago goes through or what they're doing?
I don't think you're having the same conversation as
Yeah,
any
this
of
is
us
totally
at any
irrelevant.
point in this entire evening. Nothing
It's a
you
total
have
non
said
sequitur.
has.
I don't think so.
It's a total non
You are
sequitur.
having
Hold
a
on, stop.
conversation to yourself.
I'm gonna
I
move
think
on.
it's got plenty
Stop.
to do with what we're
let's
saying.
move on.
We're gonna. Did you answer the question? Or no? Really quick, coming back to you. No, I know, but
Nably donated $200. Nick, we Latinos on the chat had a vote. Please set up the mic number 4 to drunk Latina mode. If that doesn't work, have Gus shove the pointy side of his German hat down her vocal cords. Afuera.
thank you, Doc Vanablis. Hold on. So coming back to you really quick. So I don't know if you really answered. No, you did.
She
So
did.
if I snap my fingers, give you $5 million, you'd still
Get a
work
career.
50 years.
Yeah.
50. Like you wouldn't. Have you been to Hawaii?
I haven't been to Hawaii.
Oh,
She lived
God.
in San
I could live
Diego. What do you
without.
need to go to Hawaii for? San Diego. San Diego's like beautiful.
I'm just saying.
Like I said, I did an internship. The police officers that I've like done ride-alongs with, or like the detective that was supervising me, he wasn't in the office 24/7.
Okay, but
He
so
was
if
living his
I gave
life.
you $5 million
I wouldn't
today,
take it.
And so over the course of your career, you might not even, over 40, 50-year career, you might not even make that much over the course of the career. And if you
If
get
I
$5
could eat and I
million-
have a house, I'm chilling.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Right, but-
especially in this area, you will not be able to afford it on your own. And this is another reason why I think people should pair up, because fiscally, it's freaking
Can you afford it right
impossible.
now? Do you have a house and food?
No,
You don't have
God,
a
not
house
by
or food?
myself. I have an apartment, and I Barely make it.
That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy though that you wouldn't take
I wouldn't
$5
take
million.
I think there's a lot of like
gladly.
family dynamics and maybe like history. Like I'm not gonna like say, but for me, for example, seeing my mom, I'm also first generation.
Let's call up your mom right now. Yo, mom, this dude on this podcast just
She's
offered
like,
me
you're
$5 million.
stupid. Take the fucking money.
Yes,
Offer me
exactly.
$5 million, or I could just go ahead and
to be a housewife?
But
You an
see,
idiot?
But as strong-willed, like first generation, first college educated, like immigrants, it's super important to have that autonomy because we saw our parents
You
struggle.
don't think $5 million
No,
gets
change
you
your life.
autonomy?
It can change your
I didn't say
family's
that,
life.
but I'm saying she's still young. Like she's still figuring
I
out
can
life,
fix her.
right?
I'll fix her.
But you
Okay.
feel like you have a deeper sense of purpose
Yeah.
choosing that.
Anyways,
Yeah.